An Iowa State victory. Lineup change for Kansas. 24 in the white. KJ Adams, the freshman from Austin, Texas, makes his first career start. So Mitch Lightfoot and David McCormick both coming off the bench tonight.
Well, McCormick, this is the third straight game, Ted, that he has not started. And they love Adams' motor, his energy, and they feel like he can get them going early.
Tristan Enaruna, the former Kansas Jayhawk, getting rolling early with the slam. Spent the last 2 years with KU, transferred to Iowa State. So here's that starting five for Kansas. It is a small lineup, but they feel like they can still exploit Iowa State defensively. Christian Brown on the drive, and he draws the foul.
That last possession for the Cyclones, a concern for Bill Self going back to that game Saturday against Tech. They gave up 44 points in the paint, and that was an easy possession on that last end before Braun's able to counter here, get into the rim.
Brown fourth in the Big 12 at 82% at the line, but missing the first. A breakout year for Brown as a junior. Brendan, top 8 in the league in scoring, rebounding, block shots, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage.
Yeah, and Brown's driving it more, and that was the next step that Bill Self wanted from him. I mean, you just look at it statistically this season, Ted. You know, he took 5 3-point shots a game last season. It's only 3 this year. And that's the first thing TJ Otzelberger said to us about him. They're concerned about his ability to drive it either way. You saw that on the last possession.
Here's Tyrese Hunter, the only freshman starting point guard in the Big 12, and he airmails a pass to Brockington for the turnover. That's a question for Iowa State. Can the 18-year-old handle Allen Fieldhouse? Hunter said yesterday, I just got to play my game.
Well, the thing about Hunter, you know, young guys sometimes get sped up and they'll turn it over, but negative plays don't bother him. He'll turn right around and make a positive play. Doesn't get down on himself. That's why he's an elite freshman point guard in college basketball.
Here's Wilson with 7 to shoot, coming off a season-high 20 points against Texas Tech. He drops it off to the freshman Adams for the dunk.
Well, a great possession right there. Again, one of the things that's going to make Kansas so difficult for Iowa State is the big perimeter players for them. We talked about Abachi, Brown, and then Jalen Wilson that can make plays.
Brockington, the transfer from Penn State, the master of the mid-range. It might be an inefficient shot for most, not for Brockington.
We talked about it. He is terrific there, and Coach Otzelberger talked about that with us today. They want him to get downhill, and he has the size and the elevation to go over the top with ease.
And Kansas turns it over. Abaji was trying to find Adams down low. TJ Otzelberger, his first year, of course, former Iowa State assistant under Greg McDermott, Fred Hoiberg, and Steve Prohm. Bill Self said yesterday he believes that Otzelberger should be in the running for National Coach of the Year. Here's Hunter on the drive, and he's fouled. Adams, the last line of defense for Kansas. And of course, Bill Self, the Hall of Famer, in his 19th season, told us yesterday when we asked him, what do you want to see the most coming out of the loss in Lubbock? He said, a high motor from my team, and I'm disappointed that I even have to say that.
Yeah, it was not that they didn't play hard, as he talked about, but the sense of urgency that typical Bill Self teams have wasn't there. And we've already touched on it, Ted, where that shows up is on the defensive end. Right? And that's been the staple and the reason they won 14 straight in this league is the ability to guard on the road and grind it out. This league has been so good for a long time. It's not like they've been blowing people out of the water, but they've won hanging their hat on that defensive end.
This is the fun matchup when Kansas has the ball, ranking 5th in the country in Ken Palm's offensive efficiency. Iowa State ranked 6th in defensive efficiency. Brockington with the rebound. And he lost it, passing to nobody in particular. And Iowa State with its second turnover. all-time meeting number 253, a series that started in 1908. Kansas has won 4 in a row. Iowa State's last victory in the series came in the 2019 Big 12 championship game.
There have been a lot of high-level games between these two, especially in recent years.
Abaji with his first basket, the Big 12's leading scorer at 20.5 per game.
And that's part of the maturation of his game year to year to year. Bread and butter, ability to knock down that three-point shot, but nice little fadeaway in the corner, short corner.
Robert Jones, the transfer from Denver, misses inside. Kansas on the run, so dangerous in transition. Iowa State getting back. The deflection by Hunter, and it'll stay with KU. Ochai Agbaji, Brendan, has steadily improved, upping his scoring and his three-point shooting from his freshman all the way to his senior year.
Again, progression, development under Bill Self, in addition to his own hard work and his talent. But I think this year, what's also happened is he and Brown are putting it on the deck more. And that just allows you, when you're that level player, one plays off the other. You got to be there on the catch and have good closeouts on the three-point shot. And you also have to protect the drive at the same time. And that's been part of the strength this season for Agbaji.
Ball skips out to Brockington, 10 to shoot. Again, the mid-range jumper doesn't drop this time. Hunter at 6 feet tall. The freshman with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Well, Hunter, a lot of confidence, high respect he had for Roy Williams. Obviously, Kansas, the storied tradition that it has, speaks for itself. But great coach, great players. And I always thought one of the cool things about him is probably not talked enough about is he was always gracious in victory or defeat. The defeats didn't happen very often, but really cool to see him in Allen Fieldhouse tonight.
Jalen Wilson misses the jumper out of the timeout. Iowa State a 7-5 lead. And Brendan, you're one of the few people in the world who can say they hit 4 threes against a Roy Williams coach team.
Yeah, that was over about 9 games.
I thought it was 1 in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I had about 2 good games in my career, and one of them happened to be against Kansas. But again, Coach Williams, such a good coach, he knew that they needed to double down on his country and leave somebody like Leo open to take their chances. But no, those were great days. And tonight too, something cool. You see Coach right there. Is the old Big 8 schools, right? This is this old Iowa State-Kansas matchup. And I grew up around it, going to these games, seeing the Danny Mannings, the Jeff Graders at Iowa State, etc. So I always love these matchups that have the history that they do.
Off the Kansas turnover, Caleb Grill, the most prolific three-point shooter for Iowa State, off the mark and out of bounds to Kansas. Now, Roy Williams told the Kansas City Star yesterday that he was at Paul Pierce's Hall of Fame induction in September. Got together with some of his former players, Greg Gurley, Terry Nooner, Wayne Simeon at Kansas, and they convinced Roy, you should come back for a game now that you're retired.
Yeah, and nobody better to get you excited or talk you into something than your former players. And I know he loves these guys that played for him at Kansas and certainly North Carolina, and that's what it's all about in the end, is those relationships you build and how he helped mold young people.
Agbaji, a brick. Brown, that doesn't go down. Kansas has started 2 of 10 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3.
Well, this game, at this level, always takes a while to settle in. And obviously Kansas, especially in this building, Ted, they can get going fast in terms of tempo. It's usually dictated off their defense. And that's what Iowa State is going to try to keep them out of today, those runs in this building that really separate the Jayhawks from their opponents on the nights they play here.
Kalsher hit the top of the backboard just about. Kansas has missed its last 7 shots. And an offensive foul on Christian Brown. Kalsher, one of the top perimeter defenders in the Big 12, took the charge.
He's take a look right here, Ted. And one of the things, no question right there, great job of moving his feet. Brown extends that left arm just a little bit. Bill Self talked with us about Iowa State. He said they're as good as anybody in the league, with the exception of maybe Baylor, but they are right there. They're every bit as good as Tech. That's the major improvement that T.J. Otzelberger has brought with Iowa State. Defensive-minded, toughness, they're sound, but they're aggressive in playing it as well.
Kalsher, no. Condit picks it up inside and flips it in. George Condit has been much more solid this year in his senior year.
Yeah, really been solid at both ends of the floor, and then the half court, they will actually play through him at the high post, running their offense in the half court sets.
Kalsher picks up the foul as DeJuan Harris made his move for Kansas. Jayhawks have not scored in the last 4 minutes.
Ted, I love Harris. I love what he's about, the way that he plays. He's terrific in transition. He really gets the Jayhawks rolling there, leading breaks. And if they don't get anything, he in the very least flattens out the defense and allows them to float right into the half-court offense. But where he's terrific and maybe better is defensively. Bill Self has said as much. He said that he is the Jayhawks' best defender. And if you think about it, he was under the tutelage of Marcus Garrett 2 seasons ago, the National Defensive Player of the Year. So he's been able to be around him. And in a sense, they're different players, but in a sense, passing the torch, at least defensively, of being an elite guy out there on the perimeter.
Bobby Pettiford back on the floor for Kansas. His early career marred by injuries so far. Remy Martin is not available tonight. Kansas sitting him down with the knee injury. And Aruna gives it up. Robert Jones misses from close range. Yeah, no Remy Martin, no Zach Clements, the freshman big man who's dealing with a foot injury.
Well, Martin played 12 minutes.
Abachi hits the three. Kansas takes the lead.
Well, there's that three-point shot. That's way too much space. And shooters love to come up the floor, Ted, off those screens or runs. Allows them to get in rhythm. And when you see Abachi shoot it, he has tremendous footwork prior to the basketball getting to him. And so that's what allows him to have that quick, smooth release.
Pettiford, the hustle play. Ball is loose. The scrum forms. It's a tie-up. And Kansas will have it with the arrow. Floor burns all around. So there's Remy Martin. Of course, the Pac-12's leading scorer a year ago at Arizona State. Had been playing through the knee injury. Back to the Abaji three.
And you see him sliding up from the wing right there, but just so smooth. 6 3-point shots he made at Tech on Saturday.
Tyrese Hunter rips it and runs with it. Iowa State back in front.
Well, there's that ball pressure from Iowa State. This is not just an improved defense because they're sound and solid. They're sound and solid, but they do a great job keeping you on one side and have terrific ball pressure. And here they go again.
Again off the turnover, Abaji threw it away. Hunter has it knocked.
Since day one, great chemistry. They all understand their roles, and I know Iowa State fans are excited to have him back in Ames.
Brockington extends the lead to 3. Otzelberger was on the Bald Men on Campus podcast with Seth Greenberg, Jay Billis, and LaFonso Ellis recently, as Iowa State forces the turnover with their pressure. Here is Kalsher on the drive. Otzelberger said that his first sports growing up in Wisconsin were wrestling and football, and he really feels like that's the identity of his teams, the physicality, the intensity. Kick it out, Kalsher. He drills.
So you look at the game, we go back to Saturday against Tech. Again, not very many Bill Self's teams have gone on the road and not been sound and tough. And no question that they will get better there, because if they just improve a little bit on that end of the floor, which they will, you know, they've got a whole nother step to go. And this is a top 10 team anyway. And so I would expect that. And that's why, you know, Baylor looks great right now. But at Kansas, you'll be able to hang with them over an 18-game grind, because I do think they'll get the defensive stuff figured out here pretty soon.
Now 6 turnovers, not even 10 minutes gone by. 3-pointer hit for Iowa State. A 9-point lead. It's Alijaz Kuntz from Slovenia, the transfer from Washington State.
Yeah, Kuntz, they really like him because he's a skilled big that makes good choices, meaning offensively he takes shots within himself. He can knock that down. He was wide open, and he was pure from long range.
Abaji from the corner. Rebound loose, controlled by Condit. Iowa State has scored 10 in a row. Kuntz thought about it, didn't pull the trigger. Hunter wide open. And a long rebound tracked down by Brockington. Feeding Condit, blocked by Lightfoot. And last touch by Iowa State. It's Kansas ball.
Watch the ball movement right there. Top of the key from Hunter, the freshman. There's Kuntz again. You know, the pieces that T.J. Otzelberger was able to put together in a short period of time. And that's what these coaches, Ted, are doing when you go to the portal. I mean, you're finding needs, right? And so you get a scorer in Brockington, you get a two-way guy like Kyle Shore. You had a Kuntz who's a skilled big that can play off of those guys.
Kuntz one of 4 power conference transfers for Iowa State. Christian Brown with the much-needed 3 for the Jayhawks.
You have to extend out on Brown right there. I mean, he was well beyond the arc. But again, his ability to knock those down, but also drive it. So when you close out, you got in the back of your mind with his ability and improvement to put it on the deck. It's difficult on those closeouts, but you definitely got to get there on the catch with Brown because he can flat out shoot.
Abaji attacking. Offensive foul. Condit hit the deck, stepping in front.
That's his first personal foul, the 4th team foul on Kansas.
Well, part of the improvement defensively for Iowa State is secondary defense, help defense. And this is a great job by Condit. He's not a shot blocker necessarily with his size. What he is, he's a position defender on the weak side. Did a great job getting outside the restricted area. Great play defensively from him right there.
Hate to shoot. Nice cut. Kuntz, Tristan, and Aruna back at Kansas tonight. They are all workers, all self-aware of how they had to improve.
Well, and I think the key word you said there was self-aware. And that says that they know who they are. And it's a combination of humility from your players and then relaying that message as a coaching staff.
Kansas has turned it over 8 times now in this first half. There's Trey Jackson, one of the few holdovers from the group that went winless in Big 12 play a year ago. Brockington couldn't hit the long 2 this time. The rebound to Abaji. Brown trapped, giving it up. Harris takes the baseline. Brown catch and shoot. Lightfoot the offensive rebound. He sticks it back.
And that's the
trying
type
to give Kansas a spark off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the type of play you need when you've struggled a little bit shooting the ball because of the good Iowa State defense, are those type of plays. And that's exactly what Lightfoot gives them. And he's got a ton of energy. Obviously defensively very good, but right there, great offensive rebound, and that helps get the lid off the basket.
Could not defend Robert Jones, who hooks it in. And the lead is back to 8 for Iowa State.
Yeah, nice job of Jones.
As many as 9.
Yeah, nice job of Jones right there. Iowa State doesn't throw it to their bigs very often with their back to the basket, but he was isolated and had Lightfoot buried deep enough for that opportunity.
Lightfoot down low. Jones.
If you look back to Saturday against Tech, I mean, their offense was good enough. And Bill Self said as much after the game in terms of production and shooting 45% from the floor, 38% from three. But they did turn it over 17 times. And part of that, Martin only plays 12 minutes the other night. He's not available tonight. And not that they don't have other capable guys, but your primary ball handler outside of Harris is not available. And you're facing two of the best defensive teams in the country in Tech and Iowa State.
Iowa State's got to put it up, and instead they turn it over. Wilson ahead to Abaji. Blocked at the rim, count it. A goaltend by Condit. Kansas is within 4. Abaji was working so hard on that defensive possession, and it leads to 2.
And Bill Self will love that, because one of the things that he has mentioned with Abaji, where he's got to continue to get better, is on the defensive end of the floor. Good defender, not great. Saturday against Tech probably wasn't his best performance on that end of the floor. So he'll love that right there. Great pressure. Just an outstanding play. And again, when you're playing good defenses, you have to do things to create offensive opportunities. We saw the putback earlier from Mitch Lightfoot on the offensive glass, and then right there, defense transitioning to offense for the Jayhawks.
7 points and 3 rebounds for Abaji here in the first half. Big 12's leading scorer coming in at just under 21 per game. Hunter, the freshman, matched up against Kansas' best on-ball defender, DeJuan Harris. Now Brockington. Inside, and Aruna can't get it to go, and a foul goes against Iowa State. Condit trying to collect the offensive rebound.
That's his second personal foul.
Well, you can tell right here. Kansas gets Iowa State into half court, right, Ted? And when Kansas has done that so far tonight, they've been solid. Terrific defense. A nice job of getting the one and done and the block off right there. It's the turnovers that has allowed Iowa State to score and get in some tempo. But when they've had Kansas at Iowa State in the half court, it's been pretty good.
Condit picked up his second. He's on the bench. Six to shoot. Harris the drive and kick. Brown feet set. Back iron. Back tap by Lightfoot. And a fresh 20 for Kansas.
And there's Lightfoot again. Those are the things that he does for his team.
Harris, acrobatic. What a finish. Kansas is down 2.
And the tap out hustle play by Lightfoot keeps the possession alive and allows Harris to score.
Kalsher quiets the crowd with a triple. His second of the game.
And TJ Otzelberger will really like that, because over the last 5 games, Kalsher's only averaged 6 points.
Kuntz hit the deck to pick it up for Iowa State. Turnover number 9 for KU.
I mean, Ted, look where both these teams extend you defensively.
Kuntz off target. Rebound for Kansas. Into the corner, Jalen Wilson. He knocks it down. A 3. His time in Minnesota. And TJ Otzelberger, Brendan, said, hey, he's got to let the game come to him. It seems like he's doing that tonight.
Yeah, and first and foremost, from a defensive standpoint, he's the heart and soul of this team with the way that he plays on this end and on that end. But offensively, they just want him to let the game come to him and not try to force things, and he's done that. He's let the play develop. He's made himself available on the three-point line, and you're right, Ted, he has struggled as of late. Last 5 games, he's 3 of 19 from three-point range. Today, 2 of 4. He just looks comfortable. He got that one to go down early and seems a lot more confident. Too easy.
6 on the timer. Brockington is blocked at the rim. Here's Jalen Wilson.
Well, that's a tremendous block on the underneath that out of bounds play, because Kansas had lost Hunter.
Jay Hudson made 5 of the last 6 shots from the floor. 7 to shoot. Wilson, the penetration. Abaji is open, and he drains the triple to tie it at 26.
Ted, that is a 6'8" perimeter player in Wilson creating right there. And that is impressive. Drives it, avoids the charge, and hits the best shooter in the gym for a 3.
Kauscher with the answer. His 3rd triple of the half. He's more than capable at a 30-point game against Memphis in November. Kickball here. 2:52 remaining in the half. Going into that Memphis game, Otzelberger said that Kauscher was so focused on defending Emoni Bates. He did that, held Bates to 12 points. The message tonight was focus on defending Brown and Abaji of Kansas. The offense will come to you. It's doing that. Another kickball.
20 seconds back in the shot clock.
And the shot clock resets to 20.
Well, again, that
look
goes...
at Otzelberger, Brendan, and he looks like a wrestler. He looks like a football player like he was when he was growing up, right?
Hey, I went to Oklahoma State, so I've seen a little wrestling. Hopefully, TJ shoots the ball a little bit better than those guys, though.
Wilson short. Brown cleans it up for KU. 1-point game.
What great effort by Brown to come in from the perimeter off the miss right there. I mean, what an excellent college player he has developed into his junior year.
Hunter down the lane, challenged by Lightfoot, and the freshman still banks it in.
Hey. Watch this right here. This is a jet. So you have the gap after the ball movement, and you do exactly what you need to do. You take it right at a shot blocker. And Mitch Lightfoot, an excellent defender, goes right at him and then uses his athleticism to veer off to the right to avoid contact and give himself an angle. It's a big-time play from the freshman.
Abaji closed off. And Wilson's pass is intercepted by Iowa State. Numbers, Tyrese Hunter does it himself. Back-to-back baskets, it's a 5-point lead.
When you drive it against the Cyclones, Ted, you cannot leave your feet. And Wilson leaves his feet, has nowhere to go, and Hunter's there for the easy lay-in.
Wilson picked up the dribble. Post up Lightfoot. And a foul. It's on Kuntz.
That's his first personal foul. That's the 4th team foul on Iowa State. Jalen Coleman lands returns from Jalen Wilson.
And hey, Ted, I've known Bill Self a long time. That's exactly what he's talking to Wilson about, what I just mentioned, on the drive on the last possession when he turned it over.
Did you ever hear that from Bill Self when he was an assistant at Oklahoma State?
Well, I heard it from Eddie Sutton because Bill Self was an assistant. He had to come over and make us feel a little bit better.
Another triple, his 3rd of the half, 13 in the game.
Just love the way he shoots the basketball. I mean, it's pure, it's smooth, it's with confidence, and I love, Ted, the fact when he knocks one down, he doesn't act like that's the first one he's ever hit.
Inside 40 seconds to go in the half. Back into the hands of Hunter, trying to thread the needle, and it's out to Kansas with 32 seconds remaining.
I said this earlier in the half, and it's holding true. Again, Kansas scores the 3 on the last possession. That allows them to get back defensively, and then Bill Self can get his group settled in the half court. And for the most part tonight, when Iowa State's had to run their half-court stuff, Kansas has been pretty good. It's when the turnovers, quick shots, when Iowa State's been out to get out and run, that's gotten the Jayhawks in trouble.
Just a slight difference between the clocks. Kansas down 2. With more than a foul to give, Grill puts his hands on Harris. 9.6 to go. First on Grill and the 15th foul for the Cyclones.
Yeah, smart play and a great job of communicating from Iowa State's bench to their team. Let some more time go off before you do that. You may see another one here.
Harris to Lightfoot. Final seconds. The floater falls off the rim.
Monte Morris, Tyrese Halliburton, both doing fairly well at the next level, right? But coming out of high school, really good players, but they too were a little bit under the radar from elite players. And so he certainly falls in line of that mold. And as we talked about earlier, good player, but he doesn't let negative things or adversity bother him. And that is rare for a freshman, particularly a point guard that's been thrown in the fire in the best league in the country.
Inauspicious start for Iowa State in the second half, their 8th turnover. Jalen Coleman lands. The former Iowa State Cyclone draws the foul on the perimeter, and it'll be 3 free throws for the 7th-year senior from Indianapolis. Brendan, the old joke with Perry Ellis at Kansas was he was in college for 7 years, right? Well, for Coleman Lands, that's actually the case.
Unbelievable story, obviously. And, you know, it's interesting watching him kind of settle in at Kansas after being at Iowa State last year. I mean, this is a guy, if you look at it, in all those years, he's made 309 three-point shots. And he was really good a couple games ago against George Mason. 20 points, hit 5 threes. So it's in there. He was 14 points a game a year ago at Iowa State. Hit 58 threes. So there is a place for him. Obviously, he's starting here in the second half, a scoring-minded guy that looks for the three-point shot. And that last possession, Ted, he was able to get that look off the classic dribble drive game on the perimeter from KU. So a good start for Kansas. Get a stop. Nice first offensive possession, getting Coleman Lands to the line.
And with 3 free throws, Coleman Lands gives Kansas its first lead since it was 10-9 at the 12:35 mark in the first half. Hunter eyed the rim there. Abaji checking him. Brockington just 4 points in the first half. Top 5 in the Big 12 in scoring. 1 to shoot. Condit, does he realize he has to put it up? And Aruna, the former Jayhawk, the offensive rebound, couldn't put it in. Brown has all kinds.
The floor, and you get Brown flowing into an easy three-point.
That was a rare sight in the first half. That kind of flow in the transition game for Kansas, especially after the stop. Condit in the post. Abaji working against Brockington. 2 Big 12 Player of the Year candidates. 2 to shoot again. Condit just has to throw it up. Kalsher, offensive rebound, but he stepped out. Kansas ball.
Horrific defensive possession right there, Ted. And if you watch the Jayhawk perimeter players, they are there on the catch with every pass, extending Iowa State's offense.
Brendan, now an offensive foul on DeJuan Harris. So Kansas gives it right back. Harris is first. Bank shot off the mark from Caleb Grill, who, just like TJ Otzelberger, returned to Iowa State. Started his career there as a freshman, went to UNLV, played for Otzelberger, and went back to Ames. Harris against Hunter. Drops it down low. KJ Adams draws the foul. Adams played just 5 minutes in the first half, making his first career start. They love his hustle and motor.
And they love Harris's playmaking ability. Iowa State, pretty good defensive possession till late, and Harris basically makes something out of nothing for them offensively. And Adams able to break free with the Cyclones ball watching, but again, all predicated by the creation of the offense from Harris on that last possession, or this possession.
Brendan, when Adams committed to Kansas July of 2020, Bill Self thought it was a joke. Adams got him on the phone, says, "Coach, I'm committing to you." And Self said, but you never visited. Of course, early in the pandemic, just did a Zoom visit to tour the campus, touring, of course, in quotation marks. But Adams saw all he wanted to see. He was attracted to Kansas from the very start.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, of all the places in the country, there's a couple that you would need to go visit, right, Ted, to know that that'd be a good place to be. Play for Bill Self at University of Kansas.
Yeah, sign me up. I think I still have eligibility.
I was told once that I have 4 years of defensive eligibility left. I don't know what that means.
Abaji off the mark. Yeah, Eddie Sutton and Bill Self, for that matter, never told you that in Stillwater.
I think both of them actually said that. Look at see right there, everything on the catch. You see that, Ted? I mean, Kansas really dialed in defensively in the half court here.
Hunter downhill, swallowed up by Adams. It's last touch by Kansas. Iowa State ball with 9 to shoot.
You know, all coaches at halftime obviously address mostly the concerns or things that weren't great in the first half. And so essentially, from your head coach, you get a do-better speech. And Kansas has been really good getting into the half court, taking care of it, not allowing Iowa State to run. And if they can make it more of a half-court game, even though Kansas does like to get out themselves and run, but that's off Iowa State stops. Right? It behooves them and helps them in the long term, no question.
Iowa State has started the second half 0 for 6. Hunter gives it up. Kalsher had the hot hand in the first half, nothing but air this time. And as usual, TJ Otzelberger is saying, hey, just get back. It's all about defense. That is the identity for Iowa State, even if shots aren't falling.
It's that end of the floor that buys time for you until you can get something going offensively. It's also the end of the floor. If you're Kansas and you're getting a little separation here, it's the end of the Kansas. Haven't turned it over. In those 10 turnovers in the first half, 6 of those were live ball steals by Iowa State.
And here's one right here, Brendan.
Yeah, Coach Self won't like that. That's the announcer jinx. But they've taken care of it up to that possession, and then this end has been outstanding.
Iowa State hasn't scored here in the second half, and right on cue, it is Isaiah Brockington, held to just 4 points in the first half. He averages 17 a game, good for 4th in the league.
And notice out of the timeout where they get Brockington the basketball. I mean, he comes up the floor to the mid-post area, which is essentially his mid-range game. And he was isolated there with Brown.
Brockington really has been one of the most impactful transfers in the country. After 3 years at Penn State, started his career at St. Bonaventure. Late in the shot clock, Coons. Jump ball, KJ Adams there defensively for Kansas.
You see Adams right there. He knows he shouldn't have left his feet, but he did such a great job when he landed, just going up and down. And you can see him kind of look over at that bench, because I'm sure that was what was communicated. You know, going back to Brockington, Ted, you know, obviously if Iowa State is going to put themselves in position at the end of this ball game to win in Allen Fieldhouse, Brockington has got to get going. And you wonder if that 2 possessions ago, that one going down, if that's what'll get him headed that direction.
Abaji guarded by Kalsher. That's a fun individual matchup. Abaji wins the matchup. He puts it home.
And that's the improvement. What has gotten better with Abaji, ability to put it on the floor.
Brockington off the mark. Brown on the run. Abaji, quick trigger.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Ochai Abaji filling it up again for Kansas.
Lower body, and I mean he's as smooth there as you can get. Excellent shooter.
Iowa State is 1 of 10 from the floor here in the second half. Inside, Robert Jones working against Lightfoot. He drops it in.
I like that too right there. Again, Iowa State, not traditionally a team that's just going to pound it inside, but they do coming out of the timeout. Jones, nice job of finishing, kind of unassuming if you're Kansas that the Jayhawks would go to him right there.
Harris steps into it. It's an air ball. Brown trying to save it, but out to Iowa State.
Turning for Iowa State, Gabe Kalsher.
You know, back to Abaji for a second, Brendan. Great story in The Athletic by C.J. Moore. Abaji thought he was gone to the NBA in the spring. Went through the draft process, got the feedback, and understood, oh, wait, I'm not a first-round pick. Decided to come back, and he has improved his stock.
And 2 of the things that he learned in that experience was, 1, be more assertive. Meaning, don't just be a standstill 3-point spot-up shooter. You know, develop off the bounce, probe, attack. You see it right here. That's assertiveness. So it's that, Ted, and the other side of it, they wanted to see him be more of a vocal leader. And if you ask Bill Self and the staff, he has been that. So he took good notes.
Now with 20, right near his season average. Again, a post up for Jones. Lightfoot the block. And last touch by Kansas. 11 on the timer for Iowa State. A Lightfoot coming off the bench. Again, KJ Adams got the start. Haven't seen much of David McCormick tonight.
Well, if you're posting Lightfoot and you don't have the angle initially, you're not going to get it. And he's too sound of a post defender inside.
Kalsher, the air ball. Kansas takes over.
Elias Kuntz returns for Iowa State.
Lightfoot with a couple of blocks for Kansas. The 6th-year senior from Gilbert, Arizona. There's Bobby Pettiford making his first appearance since early December. Has battled a strained abdomen as of late. Tore a ligament in his ankle in the summer. Former ESPN 100 prospect. Coleman lands in the corner against one of his former teams, and it's off target.
Nice block out on that weak side right there by Jackson.
Kalsher trying to get downhill against Abaji. Now Grill. 6 to shoot. Jackson 20-point game of the season, Brendan. He has 4 threes. He's the only Jayhawk in double figures. Iowa State 2 on the shot clock, looking for the lob to Brockington. He could not finish.
Well, that's a great underneath out-of-bounds play, and one that you'll really regret if you're Iowa State. You only get so many of those, Ted, within a game at this level of basketball. I'm surprised that Brockington wasn't able to convert.
Meanwhile, Abaji was trying to finish the missed 3 by Brown. Lightfoot with the steal. He's been big off the bench. Inside for Kansas.
Either.
I mean, let's say this. It wasn't a flagrant 2, that's for sure, but elbow to the face. DeJuan Harris is at the line for Kansas. Of course, we're not on site, but we are getting the explanation from courtside that the officials believed that Jones had established himself enough to know that Coleman Lands was behind him so that he could avoid throwing an elbow like that.
Yeah, and if they felt like he felt him behind him, for sure, then that's why they would make that call.
Lightfoot missed the hook shot. Foul on Lightfoot. Lead is 8 for Kansas, their largest of the night. They trailed by 2 at the break and were down 9 in the first half.
So a lot of time left, Ted, but you know, we've been in this building many times, and I had the opportunity as a player to play in Allen Fieldhouse twice. And you have to be careful in this stretch midway through the second half if you're Iowa State, because they put runs on as quick as anybody in college basketball. And so that's a very good possession right there. And this is one where Iowa State has struggled out of the gate in half court offensively. And this is one they needed right here. And there's Robert Jones. You see how he made himself available. You would assume sometimes these guards out front would see, but those bigs, when they show, that helps. Jones did that, and a nice offensive possession and much needed from the Cyclones.
You know, Brendan, when Robert Jones transferred from the Denver Pioneers to Iowa State, T.J. Otzelberger said he likes to screen and he likes to hit people. That's what we need. I don't think he meant the elbow like he threw on Jalen Coleman Lands, but a physical presence inside, and Iowa State is within 5. Pettiford the drive. Kuntz was there defensively. In rhythm, Kalsher off the mark. Abaji fights for the rebound and the foul against Iowa State and Brockington.
And we talked about Kalsher in the first half, and he shot it well. 3 threes, 11 points. But it's when he's let it come to him. That was a little quick right there. That's one that you take if you've really been flowing offensively, either as a team or as an individual. But
he's the only Cyclone in double
case.
figures, Brendan, with 11. Abaji the pull-up. Rattles out. Brown trying to follow. Kuntz grabs it. Iowa State just 4 of 18, 22% shooting in the second half. And a turnover.
Well, that part of it is kind of flipped, Ted, here in the second half. Kansas, 10 turnovers in the first half. They've only turned it over once here. But now Kansas's pressure out front, defensive and half court, has caused the trouble.
Up top, Brown puts it home. The Kansas lead is 7. Brown now in double figures with 11.
Now, both Abaji and Brown are terrific as well away from the ball. And Brown has a reputation as a great cutter. Now, he didn't have to cut hard right there, but it was a smart play away from the ball nonetheless to go to the rim.
4 to shoot. Kuntz trying the entry feed. And an offensive foul. It's on Jones, trying to establish position.
Again, Mitch Lightfoot is an excellent position post defender. See, he's got Kuntz up the floor, so when he catches it, he's well outside his comfort range. And then, as I told you earlier, Lightfoot is so sound, he's not going to give up angles. And so unless you bury him deep, you're going to have to score over the top of Mitch Lightfoot.
Was timed on the lob, back into Lightfoot. And a foul against Iowa State. It's on Jones again. That's his third.
He like to hit people a little too much, huh, Ted?
Apparently,
right
yes.
There.
And this is the deal, right, with Iowa State. You want to talk about the physicality. Otzelberger says defensively, we want to break people's spirit. You can cross the line sometimes.
Well, I think Jones has played with a lot of confidence, and he's been way more aggressive than he typically is, particularly on the offensive end.
Jalen Wilson going reverse side. Just his second basket coming off the 20-point outing. He's got 4 tonight.
And Kansas starting to move it well in the half court. And Wilson kind of hiding along that baseline in the short corner, making himself available.
Brockington blocked. Lightfoot and Wilson were there for Kansas. Iowa State recovers, 10 to shoot. Brockington just 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. Trying to create against Brown. Downhill.
The friends, Kirk Heinrich. And they were always there. And they played the right way, too. I mean, that's the other side of it. And there's been plenty of coaches that have had dudes that didn't know what to do with them. And then he goes to North Carolina and has a terrific career there. But you said it earlier, how unique that a coach at any level, any sport, is able to be at 2 of the most historic places in all of sports, not just college basketball, in Kansas and North Carolina. Pretty cool.
15 years in Lawrence, 18 years in Chapel Hill. Said that he told the Kansas City Star that he wanted to come back for the border war against Missouri last month. The schedule just didn't work out. He settled on this game. Glad to be in the building with his wife, Wanda. 4 to shoot for Kansas. Harris lost it and stolen by Tyrese Hunter. And Kansas gets back defensively. Brown with a nice job against Caleb Brill. Hunter knocks down the 3 anyway.
I tell you what, that's the confidence of Hunter. I mean, he stepped up and knocked that down like he was a 45% three-point shooter. He's shooting 23% on the year coming in. Wide open, big moment, able to cut it to 5 with that 3-point shot. Like I said, I mean, he's a guy that has tremendous confidence and doesn't let adversity affect him.
Pettiford trying the pocket pass to Lightfoot. It's out of bounds to Iowa State.
Well, good decision by Grill to get out of the corner, and then Kansas doesn't get rematched up right there. You see Lightfoot ends up on Hunter. Now, he can't advance out too far because Hunter will blow right by him. And then Hunter able to knock it down over the outstretched arms of Mitch Lightfoot.
Does not look like he's 18 years old inside a packed Allen Fieldhouse for the first time.
You know, after you and I were together against K-State in West Virginia, you know, I was able to
just
go
as
down
we say that, he turns it over.
You jinxed him, Ted. But I was able to go to Norman for the night game with Iowa State and Oklahoma, and I told Coach Otzelberger today, the thing I was impressed with Hunter, seeing him in person, was his countenance. I mean, he would make a play. He hit 2 threes in the game. He got to the rim several times, created, and his demeanor, you see what he looks like right now? Whether it was a positive play or negative play, his face doesn't change. Doesn't over-celebrate and doesn't get down. I mean, he is really good now, Ted, but his best days are ahead of him.
Hunter with the foul. 17th foul on Iowa State. So Kansas shooting 1-1 with DeJuan Harris. 4 of 4 at the line tonight. You know, Hunter ranked 39th in the ESPN 100 for the class of 2021, tying Lindell Wigginton as Iowa State's highest ranked recruit in the ESPN rankings era, which dates back to 2007. You see him 6 feet tall, right? He adopts that underdog blue-collar mentality, but a gifted player. And trust me, our Paul Biancardi certainly noticed that, ranking him as a top 40 player in the nation. Brockington the pull-up. So pure. Big part of his game. Now 9 points for Brockington. It has been a sluggish go of it for Brockington tonight.
Yeah, and right there, he was fortunate because he got the broken floor. Abaji was trying to extend and cause a turnover. Didn't get it. It allowed Brockington numbers right there, if you will, to get to the heart and knock down that mid-range jumper.
Kansas turns it over. The over and back. A little self-incredulous. Roy Williams, your thoughts? Turnover number 14. Although Kansas has been much better, Brendan, in the second half, taking care of the ball. Just their 4th turnover since halftime.
Yeah, they have, but they've gotten a little careless about the last 4 trips, Ted.
Hunter got the step on Wilson, too strong. Rebound snatched by McCormick, who we haven't seen much of tonight. Brown the step through and blocked by Jones, out of bounds.
I tell you what, there's going to be, and there already has been, a lot of games in this league where it's first one to 60 wins. And it's not because of bad offense or bad basketball. And we've talked about it all night tonight, Ted. I mean, these two teams, among others in the league, elite defenses in the country.
Brown saves it. The floater off glass. Christian Braun with 13 to go with 7 rebounds.
Well, typically when you see him with that little runner going down the right side of the window, he's got a head of steam. But as you mentioned, just a little floater off the glass right there. And that's a big hustle play and conversion from Brown.
Hunter got space with the screen. Missed the 3. McCormick the rebound. And Harris called for the carry. Stumbled a bit, and he turns it over.
Yeah, Harris doesn't do that much. One of the reasons that they love him so much is ball security. He does create in transition and in the half court, but doesn't turn it over very often. Right there, uncharacteristic of him, trying to do maybe a little bit too much.
Iowa State shooting just 26% in the second half. Can they grind away? Down by 7, 4.5 to play. Brockington against the smaller Harris. He's fouled on the perimeter.
That's his 3rd.
3 free throws coming for Isaiah Brockington.
Yeah, obviously, you don't ever want to foul a jump shooter. It looks like Harris got Brockington on that left elbow. I mean, this is good D. All Harris has to do is contest. And if Brockington makes a tough shot, he makes a tough shot. You don't want to bail out a jump shooter, as he did right there on that defensive possession.
You know, Brendan, there was a game earlier this year, the win at Creighton for Iowa State. Brockington started 0 for 9. The message from TJ Otzelberger during the game was keep shooting, Zay. Get some big shots down the stretch. Iowa State came up with one of their quality wins. He's 3 of 10 right now. 10 points, 6 rebounds. I think the message is going to be the same down the stretch here.
Well, you look back to that first half where he just had 4 points, Ted. And it wasn't just that. He only had 5 shots. And that's a credit to what Kansas was doing defensively. But you have to get him more looks. And, you know, you and I have seen it a lot. When an elite scorer gets to the line and gets some free throws down, there's something about it that expands that basket. And then those points come in bunches. So Kansas has to be cognizant of Brockington. I mean, they would anyway, but especially over the next couple possessions.
Brown the look inside. McCormick draws the foul. David McCormick has not scored. Here's Jalen Coleman lands, patched up after taking the elbow from Robert Jones earlier and back on the bench.
Well, Kansas has not thrown it in much tonight. McCormick, this is a game that doesn't necessarily fit him playing a lot. But you see right there, that's a great call by Bill Self. You clear out that weak side, you take away the weak side help. And then McCormick, a terrific job of posting up high above the block and then holding it until it goes over his head to get this opportunity.
He splits the pair. McCormick coming off the bench for a third straight game. Kuntz on the drive. Too strong.
Points up to this point. And so from that standpoint, you have to feel good if you're Iowa State.
Rebound by Grill off the miss by Jones, and Brockington buries the jumper. It's a 4-point game.
And that's the other side of grinding right there, an offensive rebound from Iowa State. You know, those are the type of winning plays that you have to make down the stretch to win in places like Allen Fieldhouse.
Whistle blew as Kansas trying to get out and run.
And that's off the
Caleb
offensive
Grill, the
rebound
Wichita,
right there.
Kansas native, gave Brockington the chance there. The reason there was a stoppage was a shot clock issue. Kansas 13 to shoot here. Harris, the floater. The lead is back to 6 for the Jayhawks.
Big basket right there from DeJuan Harris, because Iowa State obviously capturing a little bit of momentum, and that basket obviously punches it back up to 6, but gets the crowd back into it as well.
Brockington up to 13 points, guarded by Abaji, rising up and hitting again. Brockington starting to find his rhythm late. Iowa State down 4 again.
That was just a clear out, spacing for Brockington. Everybody else get out of the way and let an elite guy go make a play. Well defended by Abaji, but excellent because of the ability of Brockington to rise in that mid-range game and knock it down.
Skip pass late in the shot clock. Abaji couldn't get the friendly bounce. Jones with the rebound for Iowa State. 2 minutes remaining. The Cyclones down 4.
I go back to number 1. Make sure he touches it right here from Iowa State.
Brockington the drive, the scoop blocked. McCormick and Abaji there defensively. Bill Self wanted more activity on defense. He has seen it tonight. And a foul on Grill. Another look at Brockington.
Well, that hit the glass first. You can see the Iowa State bench,
Wow.
Ted. And watch this. He goes to his dominant hand. They get it to him. This is strong guy. Watch it hit the glass here, and then McCormick.
Shooting 8-1.
Yeah. Missed one right there. You could tell by the reaction of the Iowa State bench right in front of that play.
We're in the final 2 minutes. Could have been reviewed, but no stoppage. Iowa State within 4.
I think they will.
Hunter against the taller Brown, has to back it out. Kalsher fires and connects. With a minute to go, Kalsher brings the Cyclones to within a point. His 4th 3.
That is a big time shot right there. Nothing was developing.
And now an offensive foul on Abaji, who is puzzled. Kalsher is down. Shot maker on the offensive end and a nuisance on the defensive end. McCormick setting the screen.
Yeah, no question about that one. And that is right. I think it was Jerry Pollard. That is right in front of him. And McCormick is still sliding. And you got to communicate when you're McCormick and Abaji. I mean, Abaji, you got to wait on it if you know you're coming. But no doubt that was a foul on McCormick. It's a good call.
Brockington, it's short. Rebound collected. Grill, the Kansas native, knocked.
Tough three-point shots.
About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
And Iowa State here just continued to be sound.
And a foul with Abaji turning the corner. 24.9 to go. Free throws for Abaji.
Yeah, like it said, again, that is the expansion of Abaji's game. That's drawing contact, creating contact to get yourself to the foul line.
Shooting 1-and-1, Abaji's first trip to the line tonight, and he ties it at 59. A 74% foul shooter on the season. Abaji with 21 points and 7 rebounds. The Big 12's leading scorer. So collected. Kansas retakes the lead. Shot clock is dark. Brockington, the step back. The master of the mid-range. 1-point Iowa State lead. Kansas has a timeout. Off they go. Final 10 seconds. Harris flips it in. Kansas back in front. Hunter the kick. Kalsher. Final seconds. Brown.